If I said to you, tell me how you train your shoulders, I would imagine you would respond something like this. Well, I start off with overhead pressing, of course, because it's the heaviest exercise. I spend most of my time on overhead pressing, and then once I'm tired and finished with that, I then do some lateral raises to build some wide shoulders. And once my lateral raises are done and my side delts are toast, I'll probably call it a day. Maybe do another lateral raise variation or another overhead press variation, or you never know, I might do a few rear delt sets to finish. So just a couple of sets of rear delts to finish. Okay, so if you were to look at the delts of most gym goers, I can almost guarantee that their front delt will be overdeveloped compared to their side delt and most definitely their rear delt. And yet most gym goers will still choose to do overhead pressing first when training their shoulders. After watching this video, I'll try and convince you to reverse the way you train your shoulders and actually start with your smaller, weaker muscle, your rear delt. Your rear delts will make such an aesthetic difference to the shape of your shoulders and the size of your back, whilst also providing assistance when doing heavy pulling movements. So let's prioritize these smaller guys in our workout plan. When training shoulders, instead of overhead pressing first, we're going to reverse this and actually start off with rear delts. Here's 4 of the best rear delt exercises that you can add into your workouts, making sure to do them first. Firstly is the reversed fly on the chest fly machine, but facing the other way. The key here is to create a slight angle of your body leaning into the chest pad, and as you're sweeping backwards to create the largest circles you possibly can to get your arms back. And whilst creating that super large circle, you don't want to come too far behind, because if you come too far behind, then your traps are going to take over. Second exercise is a single arm cable extension. And this is pretty much a replication of the reverse fly, so similar movement, similar technique. However, because there's a bit more flexibility in the setup of the cable, you want the cable to be slightly higher than head height. And this diagonal angle is going to make it perfectly align to the fibers of the rear delt. Same thing here, you don't want to pull too far behind your torso, and taking a couple steps away from the machine can help really get a good stretch on the eccentric portion of this movement. The third exercise, and this is one I like to go very heavy on, is a dumbbell row. Typically this is a back exercise and can be changed in the way you perform it to target more of the lats. If you keep the dumbbells on your elbow at a 45-degree angle and pull up similarly not too far behind your torso, then this is great for the rear delts. You could do this single arm and leaning against something if you want, but personally I like to just lean against a bench that's on an incline. I find this the most comfortable. And finally, probably the most used rear delt exercise are face pulls. 3 good tips here: make sure the cable is above head height, use an overhand grip when you go to grab the rope, and make sure you're pulling above your head or towards your forehead to bias the rear delts, instead of pulling towards your face or even lower where your traps are going to take over a lot there. Take your pick out of those 4 rear delt exercises, and my recommendation would be to do at least 1, if not 2 of those rear delt exercise variations at the start of your shoulder training. Once you've done with rear delts and you've done 2 exercises, your rear delts feel toast, then move over to lateral raises and then do overhead pressing last. Yes, you won't be able to lift as much on overhead pressing, you probably won't be getting any personal bests, but it doesn't matter. You're training the muscle that is weakest and is relatively the smallest. Your rear delt will get a lot bigger because you're doing it at the start of your workout where you have the most energy and the most focus. When training rear delts, I'd choose 2 exercises. One where you're going heavy, sets of 6 to 8, and one where you maybe go a little bit lighter, sets of 10 to 12. This personally works best for me. Find what works best for you, and also find the best exercises for you as well. Hope this helps. If you need any more help with your training, then head to my website. The link is on my profile somewhere or in the description of this video. Head to the comments if you want me to answer anything. I'll be there straight away. And don't forget to subscribe. See you soon.